2020 has been a long year for all of us with the never-ending pandemic. However, this year is as good as any to look at the mistakes we have made and try to become better versions of ourselves. Cars also have come a long way since their introduction and has improved a lot during the years. Cars have become so safe that the least safest car today could be the safest car 10 years ago. Today we are going to look at the top 10 most unsafe cars that was produced in 2020. These cars are equipped with their standard safety equipment when they were tested. I have ranked them according to their scores from the Unsafe website. Please note that this list only includes the cars that were crash tested in 2020 by Unsafe. Seat Leon. The Golf sibling, the Seat Leon is in the 10th place. It scored 92% in adult occupant protection, 88% in child protection, 71% in pedestrian protection, and 80% in its safety assists. I think you are better off giving the extra money for the Golf for its better safety rating. One of the reasons for poor pedestrian protection is its stiff windscreen pillars, which delivered weak and poor results. Some areas of the front end was also easily deformable, which means that it could not absorb all of the forces which are produced in the event of a crash. However, this is still a safe car. It's just that there are safer cars out there. Honda Jazz. This small family car comes in the 9th place. Small family cars have come a long way in terms of their safety. And it's actually one of the most unsafe cars on the road. And it is no surprise for more small family cars to come on this list. The Honda Jazz performed better than some other small family cars, with an 87% in adult occupant safety rating, 83% in child protection, 80% in pedestrian protection, and 76% in its safety assistance systems. Part of the reason for the lower score in adult occupant safety was because of the weak protection of the driver's chest. Its front bumper did not provide adequate protection for pedestrians in some situations. Its stiff windscreen pillars also did not help in the pedestrian safety test. Toyota Yaris. Following the Honda Jazz is another small family car. The Toyota Yaris scored a bit worse with 86% in adult occupant safety, 81% in child occupant safety, 78% in pedestrian protection, and 85% in its safety assistance systems. The Yaris lost some points because of potentially dangerous structures in the dashboard. It also scored only marginal in many tests, including protection of drivers' and passengers' chest, knees and femur. The Yaris also had stiff windscreen pillars, which did not help in the pedestrian protection tests. Mazda MX-30. This small city car that looks like a crossover takes the 7th spot. The Mazda MX-30 is the latest addition to Mazda's lineup, and it scored 91% for adult occupant safety, 87% in child occupant safety, a weak 68% in pedestrian safety, and 73% in its safety assists. One of the reasons for this rating is that the front bumper of the MX-30 did not provide enough pelvis protection for pedestrians. Other than that, the performance of the emergency braking systems was only marginal. The poor pedestrian safety rating on the Mazda MX-30 is what makes it the 7th least safe car of 2020. Isuzu D-Max. The Isuzu D-Max comes in the 6th place for the least safest cars. It scored 84% in adult occupant safety, 86% in child occupant safety, 69% in pedestrian safety, and 83% in its safety assists. This car also had potentially dangerous structures in the dashboard like the Yaris, which compromises occupant safety. Some areas of the front end was also easily deformable. It also provided only marginal protection for the rear passenger's chest. Other than that, the performance of the safety systems in protecting cyclists was also only marginal. Land Rover Defender. It is kind of surprising to see SUVs on this list, as SUVs are known to be the safest class of cars. But off-road SUVs like the Wrangler and Defender are a bit more unsafe because of many reasons. One of those is a higher center of gravity because of the increased ground clearance compared to a normal SUV, which makes it prone to rollover. Another reason is their extra weight because of all the off-road equipment. The Land Rover Defender scored 85% in adult occupant safety, 85% in child occupant safety, 71% in pedestrian safety, and 79% in its safety assists. One of the reasons for the poor adult safety rating is the absence of a central airbag in the front, which prevents the heads of the front passenger and driver from colliding. It also had a poor dash design, which could compromise the safety of occupants like in the D-Max and Yaris. The car's weight and increased height poses a danger to other vehicles on the road. Other than that, the protection of the rear passenger's chest was only marginal. Another reason for poor pedestrian protection was the sharp front edge along the width of the car, which could do some serious damage to pedestrians. Audi A3. The Audi A3, the premium version of the Golf, becomes the fourth least safest car of 2020. This comes as a surprise as premium cars are supposed to offer more safety than economy cars. But it looks like that is not the case with the Audi A3. It scored 89% in adult occupant safety, 81% in child occupant safety, 68% in pedestrian safety, and 73% in its safety assists. Some areas of the front end was easily deformable, which cost it some points. The protection for the driver's chest was rated only at marginal. However, earlier models of the new Audi A3 does not have a central airbag and offers lesser protection for the front seat occupants. Other than that, protection of the neck and chest of the 10-year-old child dummy was only rated as marginal. Some section of the hood recorded poor or weak results in the pedestrian safety tests. We have reached the top 3 most unsafe cars of 2020 and, by the way, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content. Kia Sorento. The Kia Sorento is Kia's midsize SUV just below the Telluride. It scored 82% in adult occupant safety, 85% in child occupant safety, 63% in pedestrian safety, and 81% in its safety assists. It showed weak protection of the driver's chest and right femur. It also had a poor dash design, which could pose a risk to the safety of the car's occupants. Some areas of the front was easily deformable. It only scored adequate in the side pole impact test and far side impact test. Again, the protection of the 10-year-old dummy's neck was only rated as marginal. It also had stiff windscreen pillar which posed a risk to pedestrians. Its bumper only provided adequate protection where the pelvis of the pedestrian was at risk. Honda e, another of Honda's small family cars have come back, only this time, it's electric. It is the first and only EV in this list. This car is the first in this list to break the overall 5-star streak that other cars scored. The Honda e scored an overall 4 stars in the Euro NCAP with 76% in adult occupant safety, 82% in child occupant safety, 62% in pedestrian safety, and 65% in its safety assists. One reason for poor adult occupant safety is the absence of a center airbag like in the Defender. Protection of the driver's chest was rated as marginal, and that of the driver's lower right leg was rated as poor. It only provides marginal protection for knees and femurs of both driver and passenger. It also had a poor dash design that risks the safety of the occupants. In a far side impact, the safety rating was poor. It also does not have a braking system, where the car applies brakes in the event of an accident, which all the previous cars in this list had. Other than that, in the side barrier test, protection of the chest of the 10-year-old child dummy was poor, and that of the head was marginal. The standout feature that other cars do not have in this list is that it has an active hood. Sensors in the bumper detect when a pedestrian has been hit, and actuators lift the hood surface to provide greater space from the hard structures underneath. However, the classic design of the Honda e comes with a price. The front edge of the hood is a safety risk to pedestrians. The windscreen pillars of the Honda e are stiff, which affects pedestrian safety. Other than that, its emergency braking systems were only rated as adequate. It also does not monitor the driver for fatigue or drowsiness, which all the previous cars did. Hyundai i10. The Hyundai i10 is the most unsafe car of 2020. It scored an even worse 3 stars overall in the Euro NCAP tests. It scored 69% in adult occupant safety, 75% in child occupant safety, 52% in pedestrian safety, and 59% in its safety assists. It did not have the central airbag that prevents collision of the front passengers and drivers' heads. Protection of the driver's chest was rated as weak. Some structures in the dashboard were thought to pose a risk of injury to the passengers. In the full-width rigid wall test, the driver's abdomen slid under the lap section of the seatbelt, so the protection of the driver's abdomen was rated as poor. The protection from far side impact was also rated as poor. The rear seats only offered marginal whiplash protection. Again, the neck of the 10-year-old child dummy was not protected much and was rated as marginal. In the side barrier test, protection of the chest of the 10-year-old child dummy was poor, and that of the head was marginal. The bonnet only provided marginal protection to pedestrians and showed poor results because of the stiff windscreen pillars. The protection of pedestrians' pelvis also was compromised. Other than that, the automatic emergency system of the i10 does not detect cyclists and provided only marginal protection to walking pedestrians. However, unlike the Honda E, the i10 has a system which detects driver drowsiness and fatigue. Like the Honda E, it also does not have a braking system where the car applies brakes in the event of an accident to prevent further damage.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe to Pro Cars to support us. Turn on your notifications for this channel for more updates.